Hello, good day. For our Physics 1 introduction, for our Module 1, Fundamentals of Measurements. For our learning outcomes for this day, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to solve measurement problems involving conversion of units, expressions of measurements in scientific notations. And also, we will going to able to differentiate the accuracy from precision and differentiate the random errors from systematic errors and use the least count concept to estimate errors associated with single measurements. For our module outline, we have our introduction to physics and also for our physical quantities. So we're going to discuss the different types and units of measurements. And we have also the system of units. We're going to differentiate the accuracy versus precisions and the different types of errors and also the uncertainty and deviation. So hoping that we are already done with the preparation for our guide questions to answer. Hoping at the end of this discussion, we will going to be able to answer those questions in a creative manner. For our first slide, regarding with the introduction to physics. So last time on our discussion, we already defined the word physics and also associated that with the other fields of sciences. Di ba nga, nakaabot tayo hanggang dun sa field ng philosophy. Okay? The nature of physics. In nature itself, physics is an experimental science. Because, what do you think so? So, we understand that physics explain the natural phenomenon. And then, not just by observing the phenomenon itself or what happening on our environment, so we always do something to test if our hypotheses are true. So physics is a branch of science concerned with the nature and properties of matter and energy. So physics is also the understanding of different phenomena of nature by developing theories on our real world. Baka kasi mamaya sabihin nyo, sir, may physics din naman sa mga digital world, sa mga games, and so on. Yes, they are explained by physics, but we are talking about the natural phenomena. So, kumbaga, para siyang in the concept of applied physics pag sinabi natin na nasa digital na siya or nasa virtual world, right? And in relation to the other fields of physics, so we have our math, starting from the mathematics, and through applied mathematics, we can be able to explain the laws of nature or the different phenomena on our environment. And then that will be fall on the concepts or on the field of physics. And together with that, what we see in the sky is also the space. So we can explore and explain what happened on our universe through astronomy. So, kung gusto niyo maging astronaut, astronomy, medyo madugo-dugong physics at math yan. Okay? But, one trivia. So, we discover a one planet through mathematics and physics. So, I want you to search on that planet. So, ano ba yung planet na na-discover natin? Not just by observing, but by solving different mathematics problem because may na-observe daw sa gravity. Okay? So, next one. So, we have our chemical physics wherein we already applying the concept of physics, electrons, atoms, molecules, and then up to its way na makakabuo na tayo ng isang complex matter. So next one, in between of that, so we have the field of chemical physics, and also now the applied physics is the chemistry. And in relation to that, so we have also the branch of biochemistry that deals with the application now of chemistry in life or living things, and that will fall in the field of biology. So next one, we have also what field of geology, wherein we explain all of the things such as minerals, rocks, degradations of our natural resources, and everything that we can see, like the eruption of volcanoes from the thermal expansions itself, what we call on the geology. And also, Another applied chemistry is the field of biology. In relation to that, biology plus chemistry because of the different pharmaceuticals and the formulation of drugs, and we also need to understand the biochemistry of our body, and we have the applied biology and chemistry is the medicine. Next one. So we have two branches of physics. So the first one, so we have the classical physics. So physics before 20th century, it includes the following. First one, we have the Newtonian mechanics. So it explains how and why objects move, and electromagnetism. It explains how electricity and magnetism interact. So that's why it is called electromagnetism. And then next one, so we have the waves and optics. So it explains the behavior of sound and lights waves. Thermodynamics, it explains the heat and its effect. So those are the things that are being discussed on a classical physics. Moving forward on our present date, or at least year on the 19th century, 20th century up to 21st century. So we have now the field of quantum physics and also the nuclear physics. And also at the modern one, so we have the concept or the explanation of special and general relativity. So those are the branches of physics, the classical and modern physics. Next one, so we have the concept on what we call the physical theories. So it is usually expressed mathematically. So it means that for us to be able to understand a natural phenomena, we need to look at it as math. So we need to look at that as a numbers. So it describes how a physical phenomenon works or system works, and it involves physical properties. So it is something like everything that happens can be explained through mathematics. Okay? So that is physics and in relation to mathematics. So next one, we're going to explain what is a physical qualities and also quantities. So any number used to describe a physical phenomena quantitatively. So any number used to describe measurements, and it has two categories. So we have on the first one the fundamental quantities. So fundamental, from the word fundamental itself, it is the base or the foundation. So therefore, they are the basic measurable quantities that have no connections with each other. So for example, length, mass, and time. So as you can see, the length is have no relation with the mass, and mass have no relation with the time, and vice versa on 3. Next one, we have what we call as the derived quantities. Diba pag sinabi nating derived, may pinanggalingan. Okay? So it means that derived quantities are taken from combination of fundamental quantities, hence the term or the word derived. So let's see for examples. First one, so we have the speed. It is the change of length or distance over time. And the next one is the acceleration. So change in speed over time. And last one is the force mass with acceleration. So those are the some examples of derived quantities or derived from the fundamental quantities. The next one, so we have what we call as the system of units. So I want you to say to me your answer on why do we need a system of units. So I will going to expect you to answer this question in our face-to-face classes. So system of units came from Sisteme Internazionale di Unites. Di ko sure kung tama. Yan, System International di Unites. So, or what we call as the SI unit. So, on this organized system, so they established 7 fundamental units for 7 fundamental quantities. So, it means that on the different fundamental quantities, let's say for example, for the mass, they established the kilograms as the fundamental units. And then next one, they established the meter for length, and then time as second, then electric current, and also for the temperature, amount of substance, and luminous intensity. So those are the seven fundamental quantities that happens on our natural phenomena. Next one. So we have the system of units based on the fundamental units. So we have what we call as the MKS system or the meter kilogram second. So that's what we call as the MKS system. And the next one, so we have the CGS system or the centimeter gram second. Next one, so we have the empirical system or the FPS, foot pound second. So as you can see on those terms or terminologies, on what country can you see those units or on what country those units are being applied? Okay, so what's your answer? We're in the Philippines. What are the fundamental units that we are using? Okay, next one. So we have on this situation, so we have different problems or concerns na it involves on some units that are not applicable or it has a too much value or too low value. So in terms of that, we need to convert something. So that's why we have what we call as the dimensional analysis. Okay? Note in physics, so dimension is a type of quantity. So let's say, for example, the length, the time, the mass, and all. So dimensional analysis, it means it is the process of calculation done to dimensions. Usually to check the consistency of dimension to their proper units. So it means that we are cross-checking just like we are doing on mathematics or in sales or as simple as checking on your body. For you to appreciate your body, you need to check kung, oy, amoy putok, malinis ba, may amoy ba, nakapag-toothbrush ba ako. So, on that simple dimensional analysis on your body, so you can check, oy, I am at most conditions. Dito naman, in terms of technicalities on mathematics and physics, we are cross-checking whether if our computations are true and correct. Next one, for example of conversion of units. Find the distance between Manila and Bataan in meters. If they are 130 kilometers apart. So again, we are looking for the unit of meter and the given is 130 kilometers. Okay. For the simple computation of that, so we have 130 kilometers as our given and we have here the rate of conversion. So it means that for every 1 kilometer, there is 1,000 meters. So therefore, in solving in this one, so we have 130 kilometers multiply by 1,000 meters and divided by 1 kilometer. So cross both unit or same units and we are left with 130,000 meters. And in expressions to its scientific notations, so we have 1.30 times 10 raised to 5th power meters. Again, for a short review with the scientific notation, so always look for the first whole number, first digit of the number and put the decimals on that and then count the um, remaining decimal places or vice versa. So from the decimal point, the whole number, so move to the left and count the places that are being moved by the decimal places. Let's say, for example, for this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And you need to establish the decimal places. All right, for our next one, so we have the concept of scientific notation. So scientific notation is being used to shorten a very large or very low value of numbers. For the expressions of this one, so we have the m multiplied to 10 raised to n, where m is the what we call as the mantisa or the valid only within the range. In expressions of this one, we can have only our m. It must be equal or greater than 1 or it must be less than 10. So it means that you have only the value of 1 to 9. And n must be an integer. Okay? So it must be raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Okay? So for our common prefixes that are being used to express the different units, so we have the peta, tera, giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto. Okay? So on our face-to-face classes, we're going to have a review within this one. If you can remember, it's a sequence. Okay? So next one. We have here the corresponding prefix and its symbols on how you are going to express that one and its multiplier and in exponent form. So it means that if we have a 1 meter of base unit or basic unit and we need to transform that into kilograms, it means that for every 1 kilogram, we have 1,000 meters as the base multiplier. Okay? For the expressions or exponent of 3. Next one, we have the concept of accuracy and precision. So based on this picture, we measurement is the fundamental to physics. So it is the estimation of value or magnitude of physical quantity relative to a unit of measurement. So on this one, for example, how many Celsius degrees unit of measurement or of temperature as a physical quantity is the light bulb? It is described as in terms of the accuracy and precision. For us to better understand what is a accuracy and also a precision. So we have here a dart. So we all know dart always wants to be hit its goal. So the center, okay? But in relation to that, so we need to describe also its accuracy and precision in terms of the word high and low. So let's say for example, low accuracy, low precision. We can describe as this one. Next one, high accuracy, close to the center but low precision. It means that it is scattered. Then we can observe on the low accuracy, high precision. It means that the data or information or the value are compiled but low accuracy because it is far from the center. And then last one, we have both high accuracy and high precision at the center. Okay? So that is the summary of the accuracy and precision. Okay? Accuracy from the explanation, from the picture, closeness of the measurement to a true value. Means that true value or the center, then precision is closeness of measurements to each other. And then next one, measured in terms of deviation. And then measured in terms of uncertainty naman para sa ating precision. And then accuracy, higher deviation means lower accuracy. Higher deviation, it means high scattered in the information or layo-layo na mga values. And then higher uncertainty means lower precision. So dito naman, higher uncertainty, it means that dun sa picture natin, dito, higher uncertainty, low precision. So yan, medyo nakascattered sila from that center. Okay? Or mas malalayo sila sa bawat isa. Okay? So that's all for this video.